Arsenal have waited for so long for a certain something to happen to the team, and I think we might have just arrived at that moment. For over 2 decades, the Premier League title has evaded us. Is it going to be easy winning it this season? No, of course it's not. But what is easy? Would you want something if it was easy? Nothing ever worth having came easy, and there are signs, there are indicators in this Arsenal team, in this Arsenal environment that I think genuinely could make the difference. Now look, I'm not sitting up here exaggerating, pretending, or making up a story to try and get clicks. I'm seeing something different. There is a change in the wind, in my opinion, and I think it bodes well for Arsenal fans across the world who are finally waiting to see Arsenal lift a major trophy again. I want to speak about so many things in this video. Before I get into it though, you know the drill. My name is Jed, and if you could help me out very quickly, just hit like and subscribe on this message. So Arsenal beat Nottingham Forest yesterday, and like I said, at the end of the day, all of us want is just to keep winning games, go on and win that Premier League title, and we are seeing something very different. We've all been waiting for that squad where we can finally start rotating. We don't want to have a team of just fan favourites or managers' favourites where we're not able to rotate and actually field a team that can make a difference week in, week out. Too many times over the last 20 years, we've had a strong 11 and that is it. And then you run your players into the ground and then there's no rotation for the midweek games, for the cup games, going forward, and the players burn out, the players get injured. But now we're seeing, even though we do have injuries, the squad depth is unlike anything I've seen in maybe 20 years as an Arsenal fan. Look, times are different. There were some unbelievable performances yesterday, and still I'm seeing negativity from rival fans. But it's the Arsenal fans that I don't understand. Like Zubimendi scoring 2 goals yesterday, and I'm hearing people say, well, that was a one-off. He doesn't do that all the time. And I'm thinking, please don't forget the days of Patrick Vieira, the guy that everyone harks on about, an Arsenal legend, rightly celebrated within this fan base. People say he's the best CDM we've ever had, and I would agree with them. But by that same token, you can't then say Zubimendi needs to add more goals and assists to his game. He doesn't do this more often. Because Patrick Vieira, in his whole Arsenal career, how many goals and assists do you think he got? 31. Goals, 34 assists. And again, Patrick Vieira, a legend. Zubimendi scoring 2 goals shouldn't be a subject of negativity. This is a different time frame in football, I understand. But these players should be celebrated when they've done well. I'm tired of people putting down these players, of putting down this manager. Look, I'm happy to have the conversation. Can this manager, can this set of players actually realistically go on to win the Premier League title? In my opinion, yes. Look at the depth. That is the main thing we should focus on. Saliba comes out of the team. Mosquera comes into the team and he looks unbelievable. Like I said in yesterday's video, the age, the price tag. This guy is an absolute gem. So much, in fact, that I am hearing rival creators talk about how much of a steal, how much of a gem Arsenal have uncovered. Why are we not celebrating him in the Arsenal fan base? Why is there negativity? Please, let's talk about these players in a positive way. This guy is unbelievable. Zubimendi, what he's doing is incredible. Now, we should also remember that it's not always going to be ups. It's not always going to be highs. There will be games. There will be moments when these players maybe slightly drop off or have a bad game. Because guess what? They're human. Everyone has a bad day. Everyone has a bad week. But what we're seeing with Arsenal is a consistency over the past 2 or 3 seasons that I think means we're edging closer. Eventually, if you keep knocking on the door, someone will answer. And that's the position I think Arsenal are in. Odegaard, again, a player who's come in for a lot of criticism. People are saying they're happy Ødegaard got injured. They're happy the captain's no longer in this team because it means we can play players like Eze and Gyokeres. Now, if you want to have sensible discussions, I'm happy to have that. Is Ødegaard on top form right now? No, and I think we even saw that in yesterday's game. I think he did struggle. I think within the first 20 minutes, there was 3 or 4 moments where Martin Ødegaard maybe could have played the correct pass, but he didn't. So if we're sitting here having a sensible conversation without hating or slating these players and saying you're not good enough, do I think Martin Ødegaard should be rested or maybe dropped in order to show what Eze and Gyokeres can do? Maybe what Eze can do in that central area? Then fine. I'm happy to let that happen. I'm happy to have that conversation because in terms of output, Martin Ødegaard last season wasn't the best. I'm sure he would admit that. Now, there have been positive signs with Martin Ødegaard. Let me know in the comment sections your thoughts on Martin Ødegaard. All I would say is this injury's probably come at a good time. I would never wish injury on any of my players, but if it means him being out for a couple of weeks, a few weeks, it doesn't seem like the worst injury in the world. It's probably just a reoccurrence of that shoulder injury that we saw a few weeks ago. If him being out means we get to see what a player like Ethan Nwaneri can do, Mikel Merino, Eze can do in that position to show us that we would have different points of attack with these guys in the team, then I'm happy to see that. Show me what that young Ethan Nwaneri can do. Show me the flair he has. Show me the physical presence Mikel Merino even in that right-hand side could have. What kind of link-ups could he have with the right winger? Whether it be Madueke, whether it be when Bukayo Saka comes back. I'm happy to see how these relationships develop. Because in football, you always need these relationships. Like we've seen it on the right-hand side. Now, Timber is Arsenal's best right-back. But a few seasons ago, there was a right triangle of Ben White, Odegaard and Saka. It was incredible. But now Timber's the right-back. Let's form different relationships. Let's try him with Odegaard. Is it working as much? Maybe not. Okay, fine. Let's try him with Eze. Let's try him with Nwaneri. Let's try Mosquera with different partnerships. It is good to see this strength in depth is crazy. And again, I hate seeing this. I don't know, it's like you get a positive, but all of a sudden people like to turn it into a negative and think, right, how can I spin this in a way to put heat on the manager? Like I've seen Arsenal creators come out and say, yes, Gyokeres has scored, but that's in spite of the manager. Gyokeres is so good that he's scoring even when this manager is so bad. And that is a level of thinking that I just don't understand. I can't see them break it down rationally to actually get on side with their argument, because it's like they've got an agenda against the manager, which is, look, if that's what you do, fine. But like, I don't agree with it. Was there moments of that game where the Arsenal players could have played Victor Gyokeres through? Yes, and they had the chance to. What's that got to do with the manager? The manager isn't out there kicking every single ball. Yes, he sets them up a certain way. Yes, he gives them instructions. But there's no way when Odegaard, for example, could have made the right pass to Victor Gyokeres and he mishits it. How is that the manager's fault? How is that Mikel Arteta's fault when he's not actually on the pitch kicking the ball when that player is in the right position, ready to release Gyokeres in the right area? But because it's a misplaced pass, it's almost like that's the manager's fault. And that is, like I said, something that I will never agree with. I also, I want to speak about William Saliba and Mosquera, because look, this is a debate that I'm seeing online. A lot of people are scared, and we've said this before about Saliba leaving next season and Mosquera coming in. A lot of people, in fact, are saying they hope that when William Saliba comes back, he's on the bench and he fights for his position back from Mosquera. Now, that is crazy. Well, it's not crazy, I guess, because Mosquera does look good. But it's like, it's the new shiny toy syndrome that I've spoke about on this channel. It's like you see something new and shiny and you think, right, I want that straight away. All I would say is Mosquera looks excellent. Let's not forget what William Saliba brought to this football club, has done for this football club, offers this football club, the athleticism, the speed, the calmness, how well he plays when he's on the ball. It's like Gabriel is the aggression and Saliba is the elegance. You put them together and that's why they are the best centre-back partnership in the world. So I'm happy to let Saliba start most games and then bring him off. You know, maybe there's been a couple of times over the last few seasons where he's come off with an injury, and is that because he's being overplayed? Is that because the backup or the replacement option isn't up to the level? There's too much of a drop-off. We've definitely seen that over the seasons. Now we do have Mosquera. If you're comfortable within a game on 60 minutes, 70 minutes, fine. Bring Saliba off. Bring Mosquera on, and the difference shouldn't be too much. But I'm not for the argument of when Saliba comes back, make him sit on the bench until he's won it back from Mosquera. Like I said, this will be interesting to gauge people's opinion, because that is something I'm seeing online more and more. People saying Mosquera and Gabriel are a better centre-back partnership than Gabriel and Saliba. It's an interesting one. I like both players, but for me, it has to be Saliba when he comes back from injury, because he is the better player and he forms a better centre-back partnership. Let me know your thoughts on everything you've heard in this video. What are your thoughts on this squad depth? Could this team finally make the difference in going to win that first Premier League title in over 2 decades? Thanks so much to everyone for watching and listening. Before you go, if you could do me a quick favour, just hit like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.